This is a Canik TP9 by Century Arms, calibered to 9mm. What comes with the TP9 is a lock with a Canik emblem on it, some paperwork with a serial number tag system for the gun, and a also quality check tag that came on the trigger, and a tool for removing the different back straps. The unique thing about the Canik is it does come with a Serpa holster, which is really nice. It also has a paddle attachment and a belt attachment. It does come with two 18-round magazines, a magazine loader, and a large replacement back strap for larger grip purchases. What's really nice about the Canik is that it has a really long sight radius. It also has a rear adjustable sights, and it has a fire indicator in the back. A unique thing about this gun though is it does have a decocker. Even though it is a single action, you can decock the gun and bring that firing pin forward. You can cycle the gun slightly to actually activate the firing pin again. One thing about the Canik that's interesting is it's a lot like a Glock. You have to actually disengage the firing pin in order to tear it down. So you can decock the gun and then drop down the two teardown pins, and the slide will slide directly forward. The nice thing about this gun is it has a full metal guide rod and spring. It's solid steel. There are no plastic parts. The barrel is 4.10 inches long, so it's got a very long and accurate barrel for it that's up to 30,000 rounds of reliability. Reassembling the gun is extremely simple. Once you get the spring back in place, you just place the gun back together and slide the action together. You're ready to go. When I first saw the TP9, I actually went home and did a bunch of reading on it to find out what exactly kind of gun it is, because the price point was definitely interesting to me since I was looking for a larger full frame 9mm just for shooting, not concealed carry or anything. And I found that from all the reviews, this gun was extremely reliable and was able to shoot most anything, and that's why I decided I'm just going to shoot this thing straight out of the box and not clean it and just shoot some steel ammo and see how it handles the abuse. When it came to actually shooting the Canik, it definitely was a lot heavier than I thought with all 18 rounds loaded into it, and it was a lot snappier than I anticipated for how heavy the gun really is. When it comes to the Canik's trigger, it's really got an odd take up. It's like there's nothing there for like a mile, but as soon as you hit that 5.5 pound mark on the trigger, it has an extremely clean break with little to no grit. I don't know why, but the reset of the trigger is probably my most favorite part of the gun. It's extremely short and crisp. It's just the nicest reset. Once you get down to the point where you get your trigger pull figured out, you can actually shoot this gun accurately and efficiently. Weighing in just under 1 3/4 pounds, this gun does tend to feel a little heavy. And another thing that I found that was a little difficult is that the magazine release is kind of stiff, and from time to time you actually really have to put some effort into it to get the magazine to release. The other thing too is the ergonomics of the gun tend to be a little brickish, kind of like Walther's stuff, because this is kind of a Walther P99 knockoff. Other than that, it's still a very comfortable gun to shoot, especially for the size and weight. It's just some of the subtle things about it that make it a little bit different. The stippling on the actual grip is actually really nice and allows you to keep a good control of the firearm, but not needing gloves because it's not chewing your hand apart. The other thing too about this gun that I kind of thought was interesting is it actually can be fired without a magazine in it. So that's one thing that some people like, some people don't, but it can be shot without a magazine in it. The other thing too that I noticed that is kind of a downfall on it is this Glock style looking trigger. It does have a trigger safety in it, but if you were to put your finger on the trigger too close or too high, it won't actually engage. So you have to make sure that you have a really good seated trigger in order for it to activate. And that's the only downfall about this gun, is you can't just whip your hand around. You have to definitely have that safety on the trigger engaged for it to work. But overall, I really like this Canik. It's definitely shot everything I've shot through it, which is all toolless steel, 115 grain 9mm. I did that on purpose because one of the things that people were reviewing about this Canik is saying that it's extremely reliable and that it could shoot pretty much anything. And so I shot it right out of the box, didn't even clean it. And I've shot several hundred rounds of Tula through it and have had no issue cycling or feeding or shooting. I feel that the gun is very accurate, especially for me shooting, because I'm not the most accurate handgun shooter in the world, but I definitely can hit what I'm aiming at with it. The big thing that I really like about this gun is the really long sight radius on it and the sight picture of these sights. I really like these sights on this gun, especially for being an affordable gun. So other than that, you guys take care, be safe. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments, and I will help you as best as I can. I will catch you guys later. Don't forget to check out my other videos and hit that like or dislike button and let me know how I'm doing. If you're also interested in some of my other adventures, you can find me on Facebook, Google+, and Twitter.